매년은 아니지만 많은 이렇게 1월 13일 날 이 1세 어르신들이랑 같이 한인의 날을 같이 맞이할 수 있어서 너무 영광이라고 생각하고요. First Koreans arrived in the United States in 1903. So 123년, we have 123 years of history as immigrants in this country. 근데 많이들 여기 계신 분들은 다 한인의 날 대해서 아실 것 같아요. 2005년도에 국회에서 법안이 결의안이 통과가 돼서 이 날이 지정되어 있고 대통령께서 아니면 오늘 DC 시장님께서도 한인의 날이라고 이렇게 프로클레이션을 내려주시는데요. 한 가지 제가 자부심을 우리가 긍지심을 가져야 된다는 거를 말씀드리고 싶은 거 제가 국회에서 이랬잖아요. 근데 한인들만 한인의 날이 있어요. 다른 ethnic culture. 중국 사람들도 없고 일본 사람도 Japanese Korean, right, Mark? Am I correct? 없어요. 그래서 우리는 정말 이 긍지심을 가질 수밖에 없는 날이라서 123년의 history, 역사가 깊은 이 날을 이렇게 다 모여주셔서 너무 감사드립니다.
한인 이민 선조들께서 낯선 미국 땅 미국에 첫 발을 디디며 새로운 삶의 터전을 마련하신 날을 기념하여 이 미 연방 상하원은 2005년 12월 매년 1월 13일을 미주한인의 날로 공식 제정하였습니다. 그 뜻깊은 날을 맞아 오늘 우리는 제21회 미주한인의 날 기념 행사를 함께 하고 있습니다. 오늘 이 자리가 한인 이민 123년의 역사를 되돌아보고 앞으로의 100년을 향한 미주한인 사회의 새로운 도약과 연대를 다지는 뜻깊은 계기가 되기를 바랍니다.
Gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we thank you from our hearts. We thank you for bringing us together here today for this meaningful celebration of Korean American Day. From the moment of the first Korean immigrants set foot on this land on January 13, 1903, and until this very day, we confess that this entire journey has been possible only through your grace and your faithful guidance. Bless this event, O God, and let it be a time of peace and joy for everyone gathered here today. May the Korean American community continue to grow beautifully within your will. To you, who hold our past, our present, and our future, we offer our deepest thanks and our prayers. All this we pray in the name of our Lord, Savior, Jesus Christ.
In today's secular world, politically, socially, economically, and culturally, there are a lot of noises. How do you know what is right or wrong? Who has the truth and who does not? It is truly difficult to discern everything in the world. I believe more than ever, we need God to guide us and His Son Jesus to show us the right path. As for myself, being a husband, being a parent, super important. Choosing your right vocational career, that's important too. But without God in your life, eventually when you have to face death, you have to ask yourself what all this life meant at the end of the day.
제가 이번 이 네 번째 미주한인의 날을 준비하면서 제가 정말로 포커스했던 건 행사에 대한 충실함에 너무 포커스를 많이 했던 것 같아요. 시간이 지나면서 제가 많은 좌절도 있었고 이렇게 마음대로 되지 않을 수 있었을 때 제가 원심으로 들어갔을 때 제가 과연 이 행사를 왜 해야 되는지 정말 국회에서 이 행사하기가 참 힘들다. 지금 저 원흉 먹고 왔거든요. 시끄럽다고. 그래서 제가 왜 이 자리에서 이 국회 행사장에서 해야 되는지를 제가 생각을 해보면서 많은 반성이 있었습니다. Welcome and thank you for celebrating with us today. You know, Korean immigration history has filled with countless stories. Some people call it is legacy. We are here today to honor and recognize the great contribution of Korean Americans to our diverse community. Also, we honor the seeds of dreams and hope. Our ancestors, our parents have planted in this land. Also, celebrating Korean American Day is testimony to strength, determination, and unity of the Korean American community. Let us proudly pass down the legacy of our ancestors to the new generation. Additionally, let us celebrate Korean American Day unity with our neighbor Korean community. Thank you so much for your support. Also, happy Korean American Day.
Congratulatory remarks. The first, of course, the President of the United States. Congratulate all of you, and it will be read by Mark Kim, President of Korean American Institute.
The White House, Washington, January 13th, 2026. I send my best wishes to all those gathered on Capitol Hill to celebrate Korean American Day. As we celebrate 250 glorious years of America's independence, we proudly honor the Korean American community for their incredible contributions to our nation, our culture, and our way of life. They have strengthened our economy, enriched our culture, advanced our innovation, and played an indispensable role in our great national story. Through their endless hard work, resilience, and unwavering devotion to freedom, Korean Americans have embodied our most sacred ideals. Korean Americans have also been vital in sustaining the enduring alliance between the United States and the Republic of Korea. Our nations are united by a shared commitment to freedom, human dignity, and opportunity for all. Last October, I was proud to deepen this partnership by signing a landmark agreement with the Republic of Korea to enhance our cooperation in innovation, investment, and advanced technologies, laying the foundation for a future of growth, security, and mutual success. May God bless you all, the Republic of Korea and the United States of America. Signed, 날-미주한 President.
여기 와서 어떻게 연설을 하실까 하면은 그 보좌관들이 막 한인대에서 조사를 많이 해야 돼요. 근데 똑같이 이게 대통령 편지는 그냥 나오는 게 아니에요. 회장님께서 이거를 해달라고 제출을 하시고 많은 인포메이션을 주고 너무나 어려운 과정이잖아요. 근데 그 과정에서 제가 백악관에서도 일했지만 그 과정에서 대통령뿐만이 아니라 모든 보좌관들이 한인들의 업적을 또 공부를 하고 이 스피치를 이렇게 편지를 보내기 위해서 해야 돼요. 그렇기 때문에 너무나 중요한 거라서 다시 한번 너무나 감사드립니다, 회장님.
제21회 미주한인의 날을 축하하는 이재명 대통령님의 축하 메시지를 낭독하겠습니다. 대통령의 메시지는 다음과 같습니다. 존경하는 미주 한인 동포 여러분, 대한민국 대통령 이재명입니다. 한인 이민의 역사가 시작된 1월 13일을 기념하며 제21회 미주 한인의 날을 진심으로 축하드립니다. 260만 미주 한인 동포 여러분께서는 한 세기가 넘는 오랜 세월 동안 정치, 경제, 문화는 물론 우주 탐사에 이르기까지 다양한 분야에서 역량을 발휘하며 미국 사회에 신뢰받는 구성원으로 자리매김했습니다. 도전과 성취, 연대와 헌신으로 한민족의 위상을 높이고 한미 양국을 잇는 든든한 가교가 되어주신 동포 여러분께 이 자리를 빌려 존경과 감사의 말씀을 전합니다. 대한민국은 동포 여러분께서 쌓아 올린 신뢰 위에 굳건한 한미 동맹의 기틀을 다질 수 있었습니다. 또한 정부 출범 이후 지난 반년 동안의 성과를 바탕으로 이제 양국의 동맹은 미래지향적이고 포괄적으로 발전하고 있습니다. 작년 한미 관세 협상이 성공적으로 마무리된 것에 이어 올해도 양국의 다양한 협력이 계속될 것입니다. 대한민국과 미국이 새로운 역사를 만들어가는 여정에 한미 동맹의 든든한 주역이신 동포 여러분께서 함께해 주실 것으로 믿습니다. 국민 주권 정부는 머나먼 미국 땅에서 모국 대한민국을 걱정하고 응원해 주시는 동포 여러분의 삶과 안전을 더욱 세심하게 살피겠습니다. 늘 변함없는 지지와 성원을 바탕으로 미주 동포 여러분의 말씀을 늘 경청하며 자랑스러운 여러분의 모국 대한민국을 반드시 만들겠습니다. 다시 한번 미주 한인의 날을 축하드립니다. 오늘 이 자리가 미주 한인 사회의 자긍심을 더욱 높이고 한미 양국의 우정과 협력이 미래 세대까지 굳건히 이어지는 뜻깊은 계기가 되기를 바랍니다. 2026년 병원년 붉은 말의 해를 맞아 동포 여러분의 가정에 건강과 행복이 가득하기를 기원합니다. 고맙습니다. 2026년 1월 13일 대한민국 대통령 이재명.
My good friend to be, Congressman James Watkins Shaw. He's serving his first term representing Virginia's 11th congressional district. Fairfax, many of you live there, and we're so grateful. I personally knew Congressman Connolly, and we're so grateful that you're following in his footsteps and serving the Korean American community so well.
Well, thank you. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
I think my Korean might be weaker than the other speakers you have today. This is the second time this week that I have jumped ahead of my friend Congressman Men, so I will be very brief, but it's an honor to be with you all today to celebrate Korean American Day. And as Congresswoman Kim was recounting the story 123 years ago when 102 Koreans emigrated to the United States, for me it reminded me of my family's journey. My grandfather immigrated to the United States from Scotland, not quite 123 years ago, but not far from it. He also came on a ship, and that story of coming here to the United States with hopes and dreams and aspirations is the American story, and it is a story that today thousands and thousands of Korean Americans have turned into a reality very successfully. We're blessed in the United States to have more than 2 million Korean Americans, more than 30,000 in the 11th congressional district that I represent, including a good number who are here with us today who have made and continue to make incredible contributions to our community in so many ways. Yesterday, I was in Annandale, where I live, having coffee with Korean American business leaders, talking about the investments they're continuing to make and the jobs they're creating in our community and the culture and vibrancy they're bringing up to our community in Fairfax County. And we are so appreciative of that and want to build on that. I want to say just a word about the U.S.-Korea relationship, which I believe is one of the most important strategic relationships the United States has in the world. Important from an economic perspective, important from a national security perspective, and it's a relationship based not just on shared interests, but on shared values. Shared values of democracy and freedom and liberty and free speech. And I look forward as a member of Congress to continuing to work to build on that strong partnership. I was very proud to be a co-sponsor of the Korean American Divided Families National Registry Act, which was signed into law last month to ensure that the State Department creates a national registry for family members who wish to be reunited with their family members in North Korea, and ensures that the State Department will prioritize family reunification in all of our discussions with North Korea. Your presence here today to help us to celebrate Korean American Day is critically important, and I know that Congressman Men and I will go to the floor and share with all of our colleagues that you all were here advocating for a strong U.S.-Korea relationship and the continued success of the Korean American community here in the United States. So thank you all so much for having me today, and congratulations. I have a letter to present to Mr. Yu.
Yes, we are pleased to have Congressman Wakichon present a citation to the Virginia University of Integrative Medicine. CEO John Yu, if you could come up, please.
Come on up, John, and I had the opportunity to meet John recently and learn about the incredible work that he has done, and I have a letter recognizing his tireless advocacy for the Korean American community in Virginia and across the country. And as we celebrate Korean Americans and the continued success of the U.S.-Korea partnership, I want to commend you, John, on your efforts and let you know that I will continue to stand by your side as a partner of the Korean American community in Northern Virginia and across the nation. Congratulations, John.
I thank you. And any Virginians in the house today? Yeah. We've got an amazing Marquine here. Let's give him a round of applause too, Marquine. And I just want to say thank you all so much for being here today. We were able to do a speech on the floor yesterday about Korean American Day and put it in the congressional record. And so we don't agree on a lot in Congress, but we agree on you. And most importantly, this is an incredibly important day. It marks the anniversary of the first wave of Korean immigrants coming to the United States. Many of them came to this area, including Virginia. And we have an amazing Korean community in Virginia today, and a lot of it was because of the folks who came over. And one of the things that is tragic, unfortunately, is after the Korean Wars, so many families were displaced. Many of you may have family or extended family who were displaced. And so, one good thing that we were able to do this past year is pass the Korean American Divided Families National Registry Act. And so it was signed into law, and it's going to be able to help create a registry to help folks reunite at the right time. And so we're hoping to get to reunite some families because of this legislation. And thank Senator Tim Kaine as well. I'm proud to be a member of the Korea Study Group and a co-sponsor of HRES 64, affirming the alliance between the U.S. and Korea. I've got a whole list of things I do because I care a lot about the U.S.-Korea relationship, and I care about you most of all, our Korean Americans here today. So thank you so much. Just know you have a champion here in Congress, and I look forward to working for you in 2026. Thank you.
I can vouch for that because many times I hear, Congressman, you want to do something more for the Korean American community. What do you need? So I hear so much about you, and thank you so much for what you do and being a champion for your Virginia Korean Americans here. Thank you.
It is such an honor and privilege to welcome you and celebrate this very, very special day. Yeah, I remember in 1903, I believe it was 102 Koreans who got on that boat. Do you know what the name of the boat is?
Wow. Was it the Mayflower?
Mayflower. Yes.
RMS Gaelic. RMS Gaelic.
Wow.
Thank you. You remember that. Okay, so you can go through that history. And they arrived in Hawaii to work on the pineapple field, the sugar field. It's a place where I live too. And so I know and have visited those places where our people that arrived earlier, pioneers, have really made a home and built the Korean American community that we see today. It is a vibrant community where we work and excel in all different areas. I'm so proud to be a member of the Korean American community, and to say that I am one of the 435 members of Congress, and there are 4 of us serving in this capacity. What an honor it is, what a privilege it is. And it really goes to show you that Korean Americans have come a very, very long way to make a mark and help America to be the land of opportunity. And we are living examples of what hard work and shared values that we hold dear could mean to helping America, the greatest country it is. A country that gives an opportunity for immigrants like us to realize that American dream through the opportunities that it offers. So I am really delighted to be here, and I also want to tell you that our parents' generation, our grandparents' generation who came before us, they have gone through so many challenges to achieve their American dream, and now we get to pay forward and make sure that we do everything we can so that the next generation that come after us would also be able to live that American dream. So with that, I just, again, reiterate the position that I'm in, serving as House Foreign Affairs Committee's chairwoman on the subcommittee on East Asia and the Pacific. As I've always done, I will prioritize strengthening our U.S. Republic of Korea alliance, and especially the people-to-people ties, because every single one of us can serve as an ambassador to be the bridge, the liaison between our 2 countries. So you have a role, I have a role, and together we can really make sure that U.S.-Korea relationship is strong as ever, and we'll make it even stronger working together. So thank you so much. 감사합니다. 새해 복 많이 받으시고 늘 건강하시기 바라고. If I don't see you again, I'll see you again next year. Thank you. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Yeltsin.
In 2024 to serve Irvine and that part of Orange County in Congress. And I just had the chance to celebrate with Korean American Federation of Orange County a few days ago. So this is my second Korean American Foundation Day, but today of course is actually Korean American Day. So I'm glad to celebrate with my good friend Hannah and all of you. And I think about being Korean a lot these days because my parents are older. I have young kids who are now 15, 13, and 10. And so when I was growing up in this country, my parents were working very hard, struggling. There were not that many Koreans at that time in the United States. Nobody knew what Korea was. People call me Chinese or Japanese. But you flash forward to today, and Korea is cool. Our pop culture is cool. Squid Games, K-pop Demon Hunters, Korean beauty products. All my colleagues were asking me last night if I could get them some Korean beauty products, anti-aging. And of course, people are now discovering how delicious our food is. And so it is cool today to be Korean, and in a lot of ways that's a story of America. As new cultures come to this country, they adapt and become part of the fabric of America, and that is what is so amazing about this country and what it stands for, that generation after generation has come here in search of the American dream because of our values of immigration and diversity and inclusion. Economic opportunity, and that is what this country stands for. And we are now celebrating 123 years of the first Koreans coming here, 72 years later this year of the U.S. ROK alliance. But right now we're at a pivotal moment when our country's relationship with not just Korea but the rest of the world is thought to be in somewhat jeopardy. We saw the raid on the Korean LG Hyundai plant last year. It was very troubling. When I traveled to Korea last year, many of their government leaders were very concerned about what the alliance would go through, what it would mean. And so we as Korean Americans, I think, have an affirmative duty to stand up right now and assert that we belong in this country. This is our country, And we are going to fight for the values we know are American, which are not values of exclusion and discrimination. They're values of inclusion and diversity, that we're going to fight for our existence here in this country. We're going to fight to maintain that strong U.S.-ROK relationship because Korea is our ally. We share the same values. Korea was modeled in the vision of what America meant. And 36,000 American troops died a long time ago to preserve those values in Korea. We owe it to this country to fight for what we know is right. And so thank you for being here today. Look forward to continuing to work with you all. But know that we are many advocates here fighting for Korean values and the U.S.-ROK relationship. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Congressman.
I am honored, and I can say for certainty that we stand on the shoulder of our forefathers who made much sacrifice so that we can be what we are today. And it's not just Korean Americans who came here in 1903, but others who fought for civil rights, fought against discrimination, and worked hard to break glass ceilings, and those who made greater opportunities for our generation and generations to come. And I want to thank all those who are continuing to fight for our rights. And today, on behalf of the Governor of the State of Maryland, Governor Westmore, and Lieutenant Governor Oruna Miller, and Secretary of State Susan Lee, I'm here to present governor's citations to 3 individuals. And I'd like to ask Rosa Park, Michelle Lee, and John Yu to come to the podium. First, I want to present these governor's citations to Korean American Foundation of Greater Washington, being known that on behalf of the citizens of this state, in recognition of its celebration of Korean American Day and its support and commitment to Korean immigrant community in Maryland, we are pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation. 축하합니다.
Also, thank you, Rosa, Michelle, Hannah, and the Korean American Foundation, Greater Washington, for bringing us together once again to celebrate Korean American Day. Days like today matter because they remind us that the Korean American story is not separate from America's story. It is part of how America became what it is today. As president of the Korean War Veterans Memorial Foundation, I have the privilege of helping steward one of the most meaningful symbols of that shared history. Located on the National Mall, the Korean War Veterans Memorial honors the 1.8 million Americans who served during the Korean War, including the 36,634 who never returned home. Their service helped secure the freedom of the Republic of Korea and laid the groundwork for one of the strongest alliances in the world. The foundation works with the National Park Service to support the memorial's care, education, and legacy, ensuring that 7 million annual visitors, that's right, you heard that, 7 million annual visitors from all around the world understand why the Korean War matters and why the Korea-U.S. alliance remains so vital today. That history is also personal for many of us in this room. Because Korea was defended, millions of Koreans were able to live in freedom. Because of that freedom, Korean Americans were able to come to the United States and contribute across every sector of American life: government, business, science, education, culture, and the military. For my own family, the sacrifices remembered at the memorial made our journey to America possible. That is why Korean American Day is not only a celebration of heritage, but also a moment of gratitude and responsibility. So let us carry forward a shared commitment to enhance the alliance, to support our veterans, and to ensure the next generation understands both the cost and value of freedom. So thank you for the opportunity to be a part of today's salute to Korean Americans and for all of you that bring our communities together. So thank you.
Distinguished guest and dear member of Korean American community. It is meaningful to be here today to celebrate the 21st Korean American Day. Stability and opportunities we enjoy today did not come by chance. They were built on the sacrifice of the first generation of Korean immigrants. They came to new land, faced many hardships, and moved forward with courage. Today, our society is facing division and tension over immigrant issues. For immigrant families, this is not just politics. It raises real concern about the safety and future of our children. At times like this, we cannot remain silent. We must speak with responsibility and act with courage. We must support the rule of law, choose the dialogue over conflict, and protect a safe environment where our children can dream and succeed. The first generation opened the path. Now it is our responsibility to make the path safer for the next generation. Korean American Day reminds us to honor the past and to choose a better future together. And congratulations on 21st Korean American Day. Thank you very much.
오늘 그 이야기의 그 제목을 절반에서 전체라는 그 개념으로 제가 만들었는데 이게 무슨 얘기인지 끝에 가면은 이해하실지 모르겠지만 제가 지금 원하는 것, 저도 미국에 2.5세로 와서 주윤사에서 활동하고 한국 커뮤니티에서 활동을 하고 또 이 빌딩 안에서도 일을 좀 해본 종사했었던 적이 있었는데 여러 경험을 하면서 느낀 것은 한인으로서 또 지금 이 세대, 바로 이 시대, 아까 말씀하신 대로 그 커널 스티브께서 말씀하신 대로 바로 이 순간에 과연 우리 한인 커뮤니티에서 뭐가 필요하시고 또 우리가 할 수 있는 또 이 방에 계신 여러 지도자분께서의 역할 이걸 좀 생각을 하면서 오늘은 기쁜 날 그냥 행사만 참여하셔서 축하하는 것뿐이 아니고 오늘부터 여러분께서 하실 수 있는 지금부터 의미적으로 일을 할 수 있는 것을 좀 생각을 하시면서 1년 내내 하시면은 내년도 다시 만날 때 더 화려한, 더 의미 있는 한인 날이 되지 않겠나 하는 생각을 여러분들하고 좀 나눴으면 좋겠습니다. So I'm going to speak in English. That's the most Korean I'm going to speak today. But I wanted to say thank you so much for inviting me, Rosa and Ms. Une and everybody else. I wanted to start with this because Hannah just mentioned this. Today is Korean American Day, as you all know, and the reason why today, January 13th, is known as Korean American Day is because exactly 21 years ago, well, actually about 20 and about 3 months ago, December of 2005, this building, the members that work here, and you met some of them earlier, Congresswoman Young Kim, she's a dear friend of mine, and I'm so glad to see her fighting for us every single day as a proud Korean American woman who works in Congress. Dave Nguyen, another Korean American Congress member from California. You saw Congressman Suha Subramaniam, who just passed the bill on Korean American Divided Families Act, which is historic, something that's been pending in Congress for many years. Suhas was able to finally pass that so that we can finally have Korean families come together using the resources of the U.S. State Department to try to put the issue of divided families on the forefront of U.S. diplomacy with the United States and the United Nations, sitting with the North Korean representation and talking about family reunification. That's something that's going to happen because of champions like Suhasini Subramanian. We also saw James Walkinshaw. I know Marilyn Strickland couldn't make it, and of course our friend Andy Kim in the Senate. Senators never come to the House, so you'll never expect to see him over here. But the fact that we have champions who work for us in Congress, 21 years ago, we had champions just like them. Unfortunately, none of them were there in 2005 because they all came years later. But 21 years ago, we had 50-odd members of the House of Representatives and 5 members of the United States Senate draft and pass a resolution in both chambers that declared that January 13th, from that point on, will be known as Korean American Day, and officially, an organization called the Centennial Committee on Korean Immigration will be designated as the organization that led the discussion and brought us to this point to help educate Americans on the history of Korean Americans. And so on that day, both Congress, chambers of Congress, as well as many others who worked on that have celebrated that day. And then 2 years before that, on January 13th of 2003, President George W. Bush, just like I had the honor of reading President Trump's letter, President George W. Bush, who was also a president at that time, and by coincidence, a Republican, now that I think about it, working with a very divided Congress, was able to issue for the first time a proclamation on that day on the White House letterhead announcing that on January 13th of 2003, we as a nation are celebrating and recognizing the 100th anniversary of Korean immigration to the United States. The reason I have a little bit of pride in talking about that happening 21 years ago was because I helped write those resolutions. I was the guy that was working in the Senate as a staffer for Senator Dick Durbin, and my good friend Sean Wu, who worked for Senator George Allen from Virginia. We wrote the resolution and passed it through the Senate and worked with the House members to pass it to the House as well, so that we can declare that. But looking back, we are now, this year, in about 6 months from now, on July 4th, we're going to celebrate the semi-quincentennial of the United States of America. And that's not a word that most of us think about. I don't think there's even a translated word in Korean. 250주년을 한국말은 뭐라고 불러요? 250주년이 되잖아. 근데 미국에서는 영어로는 250주년이라는 개념은 250주년을 semi-quincentennial이라고 불러요. 왜냐면 centennial은 100, semi는 반, 그리고 quin은 500. 그러니까 500년의 반을 250년을 해서 semi-quincentennial이라고 부르는데 이번 7월 4일 날 독립기념일 날 미국이라는 나라가 설립된 나라의 역사에 250주년 되는 건데 on that day, on 250th anniversary, we can proudly say that America, the United States of America, has shown the rest of the world throughout the history of mankind that idea of self-governing independent democracy where every person can be equal and free, that concept has lasted for 250 years. That has never been done in the history of the world. Thank you. That's never been done in the history of the world. And some of the greatest empires like Greeks and the Romans and Chinese and everybody else, they've tried. But they were not democratic and they didn't last that long. And America has lasted that long, and so we're so proud of that. But here's the reason why I want to bring this to our conversation. Why this is important for all of us as Korean Americans and those that support Korean Americans. We need to think about this. 250 years is a long time. We landed here for the first time in January 13th of 1903 in Hawaii. 102 men, mostly men, landed from a ship called the USS Gaelic and landed in Hawaii to start their lives here in America. That was about 123 years ago. Now, there were Koreans that landed here even before that. In 1983, January 1983, 10 Koreans landed here and came to Washington, D.C. by train from San Francisco to meet the President of the United States. They were just like Minister Cho here. They were diplomats, but not of the Republic of Korea. Because back then there was a Republic of Korea. There was the Kingdom of Joseon, Gwangju. So they were the representation of the kings of Korea who came to work with the Americans to develop a treaty of amity and friendship and commerce. They wanted to develop a relationship between America as a great power and Korea as an emerging kingdom that's about to become a power player in the eastern side of Asia. So they came here. But if you think about the fact that Koreans who look like you and I have been in this country since 1983, and then officially since 1903, that's half of America's history. 125 years or more. And yet when we look back, you look through American textbooks. You go down the street here to the Library of Congress. You talk to your university professors or high school professors. When you ask, what do you know about Korean Americans? They'll say, I'm sure that's the ones that had a war a few years ago. Aren't you the ones that have those stores down the street, liquor stores and dry cleaners? I think I heard about the Korean music and arts, and I love, my kids love the Korean fried chicken. There's not a whole lot of things that we have shown through official channels. Culturally, we're doing well, but official channel-wise, we don't have a lot. And the reason is because if you think about the 125 years of Korean American history, roughly 125 years, we can divide that into half as well. So half of American history is Korean American history. Half of Korean American history, roughly 60 years, we can think about why we don't have as much information about us to this day. First, from 1903 till about 1965, 60 years, Koreans that came to this country, at first 102 and then a few thousand, 7,000, 10,000, now up to a couple of 100,000 at the time. They came to America not because they wanted to be here, but most of them didn't want to be in Korea anymore. A lot of the people that came here in the first half of our history were leaving Korea. They were thinking more about leaving something that was hard. Not so much coming to something that was good, but leaving something that was bad. And what was that? Famine, drought, hard labor, economically or otherwise, there was not a lot happening. Living in a kingdom, if you're a peasant person, you don't have a lot of future. Even if you're wealthy, you don't really have a huge future where you can live like kings for the rest of your life. So a lot of our folks that first came to America came because they had to leave something that was tough for them. Many of them wanted to come back to Korea one day. They went to Hawaii. The first 102 people that went to Hawaii worked in the sugar plantations, thinking they'll work their hearts out and then one day take that money and go back to Korea and then settle down in Korea with the money. But what they realized after 10, 15 years, a lot of guys like me, single men who came here, they're like, oh, I'm getting old. I don't have family. There aren't Korean women that I can marry. There aren't many people that I can marry in this country now. Maybe I should bring some here. So we started having women, the so-called picture brides, being sent from Korea without ever meeting a guy, showing up and getting married. That's how they started settling, but most of them were thinking that. And then a few years after they came here, guess what? The Kingdom of Korea no longer existed. Japan took over and turned the country into a non-dependent colony of Japan. And so for 38 years after that, 35 years after that, they were not able to even go back to the country they wanted to go back to. Even if they made the money, there was no place to go back to because their home was gone from that point on. So they were thinking about leaving something. After the war, in 1945, when Syngman Rhee and others went back and they worked to build a country, it was still very unstable. It was divided. There was a lot of factional fights, and as we all know, most of you know Korean history way more than I do. Until the Korean War happened, until the Korean War was over, it was a very difficult time to be in Korea. Economically, financially, there's no chance for education, especially for women like my mother. There's no chance for them to get educated. There was disease and health and famine. So again, people that left in the 40s, 50s were leaving something that was tough. Just going to anywhere that was better than the Korean life that was tough. During that time, while 1903 until 1960s, America was going through our own changes. By that point, America has already gone from 13 colonies that were separate. We kicked out a bully country. We created independence. We showed to the rest of the world that through democracy, we can sustain a self-governing model. And there was a time when as the country was expanding and becoming bigger and broader and more diverse, we fought a scourge of slavery and discrimination. So we had a war on this land right here. We fought a war. After 4 years, we decided to come back together as one country. And so this is the only country in the world that has divided, fought each other, come back and bigger and stronger than ever before. So we went through that discussion. And then when we saw other people coming, including Asians, it was great to have Asians come here and build the railroads, but once they started taking the other jobs, a lot of people said, we don't want these people here. So they excluded Asians in 1882. They said, no more Asians coming here. In 1924, they said, when we said Chinese exclusion, we meant Koreans too. So they decided to make sure Koreans can also come here either. So this country went through a lot of changes at the same time that Koreans were leaving Korea. And so up until 1965, it was not a really easy place for Koreans to live in this country. Many of you might have family and friends or relatives who came here before that. You talk to them, they're not going to tell you life was amazing. They're going to tell you life was hard. But at least it was easier and probably better than the life they left behind. But by 1965, America did two things. One, it showed that even with all of our faults, even with our wars, divisions, the racism, the discrimination, America still had better opportunities for the future. America promised ourselves that we are one nation, we are one country that believes in independence, we believe in freedom, we believe in liberty, and we also believe that every individual matters. And even if your skin color is different than the majority of the people here, we're going to give you rights. So in 1964, this Congress passed the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, and the Voting Rights Act followed after that as a result of the Civil Rights Movement. And so this country sent the message to the world, America is no longer going to discriminate. We are not going to have black people treated differently, non-white people treated differently. We're also going to let women have votes so that women can be treated equally, they can have workplace. We're also going to have a country that's going to be built on ideas, not just manual labor, but ideas. So we welcome people to come to this country. So in 1965, the immigration law changed, and as a result of that, a lot of Korean Americans said, wow, instead of just leaving what's bad, I want to go to the place that's good. I want to come to a place, and I want to become something. So our history of Korean Americans for 125 years can be divided at half time thinking that we're leaving, second half thinking that we're coming to something that we want. Because American values and Korean values started lining up. We want freedom, we want independence, and as Mr. Kim just said, we want the ability to practice our religion, to worship our God, to live in a country that was promised to us as a promised land. And so 1965 until today, a lot of Korean Americans like you and my family have come to this country wanting that life. Not just leaving behind something that was bad, but wanting something even better. That's the reason why over the last 15, 20 years you've seen Korean Americans do so well. And because Korean Americans, many of you and your families, went back to Korea during that time to show our relatives who we left behind that, hey, America's a great country. U.S. and America needs to work together even more. We were able to pass a U.S.-Korea free trade agreement. We were able to pass a visa waiver program. We were able to pass multiple sister relationships, sister city relationships. We were able to pass a lot of laws that encourage investment from Korea to the United States. We were able to find a way for American businesses to go to Korea and invest there, and likewise, Korean businesses to come invest here. And as our young children, our kids and their kids started growing up here, becoming fully Americanized, they said, hey, Korean music is pretty cool. Why don't we introduce that to Americans? Korean food is actually really tasty. Why don't we introduce that? Korean fashion, Korean drama, Korean music, all these things that Korean Americans and Koreans living back and forth, they started pursuing what was good, what was valuable. By doing that, we created a Korean America today that is flourishing, is amazing, enlightening, and is something that's very desirable. So, I'm going to conclude with this. We went from half to a quarter. Here we are, 2026. Our nation is going to celebrate the 250th anniversary. Until now, we have reasons and excuses why we were not fully American. Because we came from a difficult country. We came from a place where democracy was not practiced. We came from a place where families were torn apart. We came from a place where it was a lot harder for us to accomplish things. But today, my friends, what is our excuse? We don't have an excuse. We live in the greatest country in the world. We live in a place that, as Colonel Lee just told us, 36,500 Americans lost their lives to make Korea a free country. We as Korean Americans owe it to them and their families to make sure that America remains the greatest country in the world. So from today on, we are no longer half of America. We're no longer Korean/American. We're 100% Korean, we're 100% American. This country is our country just as much as Korea is your country. From this point on, we do not think like we're only belong here halfway. We don't let somebody treat us like we're only half a citizen. Nobody needs to be telling us that we're not fully American. From today on, we become full Americans. That's the meaning of Korean American Day. Thank you.
Everybody, Mark is very humble and modest, but you know he is very knowledgeable, and this is why he's very well respected. I'm only very sad that he was born in Seoul and he cannot be the United States President of the United States of America. However, I know there will be in the future a Korean American President of the United States because so many brilliant Korean Americans are following Mark's footsteps and running for office.
I'm sorry, he's presenting leadership and community service. Because as you know, Mark is very passionate. He serves.
워싱턴 미주 너무 고생 많으셨고요. 또 정말 너무 감사합니다.
Korean American 커뮤니티를 almost 50 years 봉사할 수 있는 기회를 갖게 해주셔서 너무 감사하고 앞으로 더 발전하는 대한민국이 되기를 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Outstanding Korean American Community Service Award 2026. This plaque is presented to Korean American Scientists and Engineers Association. Science and engineer is far from my field. I'm glad somebody's doing it. Okay, Washington DC Metro Chapter, in recognition of your service to the Korean American community by encouraging and supporting science and technology, education and research in the greater Washington DC region, January 13, 2026, signed by Roseanne Park and myself. Thank you.
For the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of serving as the founder and president of the Korean American Foundation Greater Washington Youth Group with the mentorship of President Rosa Parks. This organization has been a groundbreaking opportunity, but not just for me, but for all of the volunteers that we serve and support. When this organization was created, our goal was simple: to create meaningful and valuable experiences for Korean American youth. Despite our young age, our volunteers consistently show professionalism, responsibility, and deep commitment to service. They are action takers, and that is what defines CAFGW Youth, cultivating future leaders who uplift their communities. So far, we have had unforgettable opportunities in various fields. In the STEM field, our members participated in the International Drone League, a global youth initiative through the Korean Scientists and Engineers Association, in which they coded Arduino-based drones, designed structures, and collaborated on projects addressing wildlife rescue and operations. Through leadership and mentorship, our members learned from inspiring figures ranging from STEM professionals to public servants, war survivors like Sun Yu, and young entrepreneurs like Hannah Kim. They also led a 6-month project on the U.S.-Korea alliance, engaging the public through creative initiatives. If there's one thing that can be shared through my experience while working in these fields as an MZ Korean American, I can say that we have made unimaginable progress as a community, and we should be extremely proud of ourselves. This organization is a promise to myself and to others to empower these young people to amplify their voices that deserve to be heard, and prove that age does not limit impact. As we move forward, we will do so with confidence, purpose, and an unwavering belief that service today builds leadership tomorrow. Together, we are creating these advocating leaders, the ones who will one day serve a purpose bigger than themselves. Thank you.
You will be presented with the Youth Leadership Scholarships from President Rosa Parks. These two brilliant students came to the event that I hosted to honor Korean War veterans, and they were so inspired. And it's really heartening to see young people who also remember our ancestors and Korean War veterans who fought to give us freedom. So thank you so much, and congratulations, Alice and Isabel. Thank you.
s'en donne pour plaisir, il s'en est au bord. Le cirque est plein ce jour de fête, le cirque est plein d'hôtements. Les spectateurs perdent la tête, les spectateurs s'interpellent en rabracant, apostrophe, cricetta pas. Mi songe commento, héros noir que regarde, et que l'amour t'attend, toréador, l'amour t'attend, toréador, l'amour t'attend.
스페셜리 제가 스페셜 땡스 있습니다. 저희들을 후원해 주시고 항상 응원해 주신 저희들 스폰서들이 여기 계시는데요. 정말 감사드리고 또 늘 서포트해 주셔서 감사드립니다. 그리고 또한 우리 김경태 대회장님을 비롯해서 우리 이은혜 이사장님 그리고 우리 여기 우리 회장님께서 또 많은 지도편들이 있으셨고 또 많이 도와주려고 진짜 애끓는 마음이 많으셨어요. 너무 감사드리고 이 자리에 없지만 이미셸 우리 준비위원장님은 정말 저랑 한 달을 잠을 못 자면서 같이 일을 했습니다. 학부모 임원님들이 다 와서 봉사를 하고 계시고 사실 오늘 춤을 춰주신 정수영 선생님은 저희들 부회장이세요. 그래서 제가 공연을 공짜로 받고 있지 않습니까? 그래도 항상 수준 높은 공연을 보여주시려고 노력을 하셨고 그레이스 강미 우리 선생님께서는 뉴저지에서 새벽 4시에 오셨어요. 정말 이 국회에서 행사한다는 게 굉장히 많은 저희 주의가 필요하다는 거 알겠고 정말 감사드립니다. 이렇게 참석해 주셔서 자리빈 주셔서 감사합니다.